Hello, and welcome to Introduction to Business. I'm your Professor John Harvey, and my goodness, here we are in week 4. We are just plowing through the semester, huh? This week, you guys have a lot of information to go over. So, you have Chapter 5 and Chapter 6, and you have a test this week. So, hopefully, you guys have your game on. You guys are ready to plow through and get going on all this stuff. Um, I know that's a lot of material, and we kind of try and balance the stuff out. The first week we only had one chapter, so it kind of works out that this week we'll have 2 chapters in the test. I think you're going to find that my tests are very reasonable, very straightforward and very similar to what you're seeing in terms of the quizzes and the questions like that. So, so that's a lot to get done this week, but here we are in week 4, right? Now, in terms of discussion boards, I did want to bring up Chapter 4. Um, Several of you guys have had questions on this one, and the initial discussion board said just watchdogs, where you're looking at that. This is kind of the ethics chapter, and when we're talking about ethics, um, the watchdog is kind of a one phrase for it. The new version of the textbook actually uses the term social auditing. And so that's the one, I think if you read that section and go, oh, okay, I see the social auditing, I see the 5 groups, and I think that'll make a lot more sense for you to make the connection between the textbook and what I'm asking you to do. So giving you some interesting example, or an interesting example on this. Kit Kat years ago was, uh, you know, it's good company, it's fun candy bar, everything's nice. Well, PETA was, all over these guys for some sort of sourcing of, they were using, what were they using? They were using like, I want to say like cocoa beans from a certain part of the some region where it was a main kind of environment for like apes or something like that. And so Peter was like, you're using this company. We reached out to this company and said, you can't be doing this stuff. You're hurting, these extinct or these, endangered animals and stuff like that. That company didn't respond. So then they went up to, who one of their suppliers or one of their providers, and so that came up to Kit Kat. So they're, the Kit Kat, if you guys don't stop using this company, we're going to start, campaigning and drawing attention to this, and Kit Kat, I guess at that point, um, indicated that they weren't going to change, the vendors. And so, PETA started this whole campaign, and it was kind of a big deal at the time. I mean, now, we don't think much of it, and I don't know that any of you guys have had any references of that. There might still be some videos on YouTube or something like that, but that's the kind of idea that I'm talking about. So you have these organizations that are kind of watching over businesses and making sure that they're doing what they say they're going to do. Sometimes they're trying to steer policy within a company, and you'll see this sometimes even just in pickets and protests and things like that. So there's actually quite a few of those um, ways in which companies are being kind of encouraged or maligned or um, uh, called out to be, to behave on an ethical way, or at least the way that they say they're going to. Um, so what I wanted to leave this week's video with is for you guys, this is something that probably seems second nature to you, but I can tell you it didn't used to be this way. And I've talked about this for years, that for companies, the best way that you can vote or provide information is by voting with your dollars. So where you buy your products, which products you buy, that is something that companies are very keenly aware of. So I can get pizza from, 5 different places, right? And if I go to the local place, it's because I'm valuing the local economy. I'm valuing that local person. If I'm going to a chain, it's because I believe in, their policies and the product is consistent, and yeah, maybe I support that franchise or that manager, or we do these things and we buy stuff all the time, but where you buy them and which things you buy um, really sends a signal in terms of what you're voting for. We can all say, hey, I don't like this thing, but if you still buy it, you still use it or whatever, that's that indicates that it's not something that is highly valued by you, um, if you're not willing to kind of change that. So voting with your dollars is the best way to reach out to companies and communicate what you care about. All right, guys. Hey, with that, have a great week. Keep plowing. Like I said, you've got a lot of stuff to get through this week, so get to it. And if you guys need any help or questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. And with that, I'll talk to you soon. All right.